Hey gang, welcome back to another episode of Top Fun Retro Toys 3D action figure review. Today we've got some cool things to talk about. We've got our G.I. Joe Steel Corps Troopers. I thought they were Steel Brigade, but you know, whatever. And our Cobra Trouble Bubble. So it's super cool. I thought I would review these guys together because as you can see on these Steel Corps Troopers, there are trouble bubbles flying amongst them. So we've got two flyers, recent releases from Hasbro. Really excited about these. So click like, subscribe, and enjoy the show because we're going to review some G.I. Joe. My mustache itches. Alright, first up is our Steel Brigade Troopers. And looking at the packaging outside, we see them flying around. Got the Statue of Liberty back there. It appears to be a male and a female, which is super cool that they're adding some ladies to the line. I've got a 10-year-old daughter who actually really enjoys playing with action figures, so it's cool that there's some more female options. And even though the Super 7 3 3/4 aren't G.I. Joe classified, I do dig that they have, they've got female troopers and female Cobra troopers, so it is super cool that like my daughter can pick up and play with action figures and all have to be dudes. So I think that is pretty cool. All right, let's get let's take a look at the packaging first. So all right, so we've got a side view. They look like there. And they are flying around. So we've got two jetpacks. We got blast effects. We have an array of weaponry. We've got two heads per figure. So that's definitely very cool. We flip around in the back and we can see some better details of what we're getting. Lots of blast effects, jetpacks. This is definitely, there's a lot in this box. So let's go ahead and open it up and see what's inside. Alright, so we got our two figures here side by side in their little packaging with their little background artwork. We'll get those guys out of the package. Alright, so just out of the box, here's our figures. And I think they're pretty cool. I like the color scheme. And there's a lot of nice detail. So if you can see, they've got the Steel Corps emblem on his shoulders. She has one as well. I like the khaki pants, the sort of OD green top, and kind of a blue long sleeve garment on top. And I want to say, but I'm not sure, but it looks like that might be a recycle of Beachhead's arms. Not a big deal if it is. Just pointing out that it could be the case. Now, given my background, I have to address some issues here, right? It looks like shotgun shells on his shoulder. Have you ever tried to reload a shotgun? Like, and assuming he's right-handed, right? So here's his holster. Let's assume this dude's right-handed. He's gonna reload his shotgun with rounds on his dominant arm shoulder. I mean, even on the left shoulder, it'd be like very impractical, right? I mean, I guess he'd have to reach over. That's wonky. When I did the Marine Corps 3-gun competition many years ago, I found that reloading a shotgun is difficult. And if you are out of practice or have not practiced, that will decimate your time. So I thought I'd point that out, that yeah, it looks like he has some shotgun shells. We can see the brass part of the casing, and it's just in a weird place. And then our lady over here, she has what appears to be magazines? Bold move, Cotton, putting your reloads up there in a weird place, but I guess whoever designs these in Hasbro has probably not ever carried weapons professionally. That's okay. But overall, I really dig these characters, or figures rather. They don't have I was gonna say he doesn't have the shin guards, but she does. So these may be for our lady friend a recycle foot or shin part of a previous iteration. So my dude does not have his shin guards, but the lady does. And actually the thigh rig which is actually horrendous if you ever want to use those and move at the same time, is scaled down a little bit to fit the lady. I think the holster... Ooh, hard to tell. The holster the same? Yeah, I want to say the holster, the thigh holster, is about the same. And they've got, they got belts with, rigging on the back. They've got a smoke grenade. They've got a place to put their knife, so it's pretty cool. They can carry, extra weapons. Yeah, pretty cool. I think that we're off to a good start. So let's open up these accessories and see what's inside. Steel Core strippers. So we got 2 bags here. Ah, the satisfying tear. Weapons, guns, new heads or other heads. And then we've got jetpacks and blast effects. Very cool. Look at these jetpacks. These are neat. So these are identical. They're not scaled for either the male or female trooper. We'll get a better shot. So it looks like there's some weathering on the American flag and the logo there. That's pretty neat. Kind of a battle-worn effect. That's pretty cool. Lots of blast effects. Lots of cool blast effects to show them taking off. We've got all kinds of neat blast effects for the weaponry. We've got a little smoking gun piece. We've got some, call them blasty-doos. And these are neat because it looks like you could insert other blasts into this. So you could do something like that and really get a cool, blast effect. And they've got smaller ones. And the stem, we'll call it, on this looks a little wonky. But, that's... Ooh, that seems a little loose. That's interesting. So it kind of really moves around there. I don't know if it's supposed to do that. But at any rate, I think this is cool. I like the blast effects. I think they're pretty neat. It adds another dimension, to the figures, especially if you're going to display them. So let's talk about the guns. What we got going on here? Of course, going to lose the magazines. This appears to be some version of a SCAR. It actually looks like a G36 and a SCAR 17 had a bit of a love child. If you look at the handguards up there, it looks a lot like maybe a G36. Definitely a SCAR magazine. Without a doubt. Yep. Which is nice that Hasbro is attempting to make these weapons look a little more realistic. I like how the front sight has the option to fold down. You can see where the piston would go. This is pretty cool. This is cool. It's definitely an improvement from the sort of weird sci-fi laser rifles that they tried to do earlier on, which I was not a fan of. But definitely listen to their fan base and moving in a different direction. So here is a pistol or SBR version of the same rifle, and it looks like it's got like it's like a PEC 2, IR laser, which is, I think I had one of those in like 2006 on my M16. So I think we're up to we're well past like the PEC 15. So they put like this piece of late 90s, early 2000s technology. This, you can see the rear sight folded down, as well as get a better look there. Here we got rear sight folded down, front sight, some type of reflex sight. Kind of looks like one of those cheap Chinese ones that you would put on an airsoft rifle. But I'm being pretty critical. That's just me, though. It is cool. These are dual tone. So this is going to go really well with the color scheme, I think, with the figures. All right, so we've got 2 of 3 rifles down. Now we've got another SCAR looking weapon. I don't know how I feel about the removable magazines. I think if I was 10, I think this really cool. But at at 41 going on 14, I think I'd probably just lose it. So this appears to be a shorter barreled SCAR in 308 with a 40 mic grenade launcher. Now the trigger for this is in a really sort of weird, awkward place. And let's take a look at that optic. That is definitely a Trijicon ACOG. Absolutely. You can even see right here where the fiber optic would run, and you've got your your turrets to make adjustments for your elevation and windage. This is pretty cool though. They're all running SCARs. These two figures, same weapon, same mags. That's actually kind of neat that they have some consistency. Let's check out these pistols. Egad! Oh, it looks like a high point yeet cannon or something. Oh my goodness. And then I have these weird sort of rails up top. Man, they really need to do a better job with these pistols. This is, I don't know. These things are kind of... Hasbro has not done very well, I'd say, with their pistols. They could definitely improve on that. A lot of people are interested in having some Glocks or HK weaponry for their figures. So hopefully that's something we can bring to the table at TopFunRetroToys3D.com. We got our blades. We got some knives there. Those are pretty cool. I like the metallic dual tone. You know what I don't like? High point. So our knives can go in the sheaths here for both figures. That is pretty cool. Now I got one suppressor, a lone suppressor floating around here. And I will bring up, these aren't terribly bent out of shape. Like the eel spear gun and torpedo spear guns, those are pretty bad. Now it does appear the suppressor might be a bit cattywampus. There we go. It still looks pretty cool though. Yeah, a little bit bent, but it's plastic. It's going to do that. And this is interoperable with everyone. Now even the 40 mic launcher, so it's not a 203, it's probably something different. Whatever the SCAR has, you could suppress that. Okay. And if you put a blast effect in a 203, I don't even think you see flash on those. That's pretty cool. Alright, so let's get these guys geared up. I'll put some blast effects on and see what they look like with all their accessories. Oh! Before we move on, we gotta take a look at the other heads that come with them. So one is smaller than the other. So we've got one for the male, one for the female. And these are different than what comes on it. Let's see here. I guess maybe this would be for like it looks like some kind of oxygen mask. So maybe if they're going a certain altitude. What's interesting though is here's the extra head that came with Grunt, and it's very much a repaint, but not entirely the same as these steel core guys. You can see that Grunt has sort of a golden visor, whereas these guys have like a blue and black. But that is pretty cool. Not bad. And that is not an exacting, and the only difference is that if you see on the front piece here, there's some detail, whereas Grunts did not have that. But yeah, they're nearly the same, but I think they're pretty cool. All right, so let's get these guys geared up. Well, that's disappointing. As I was putting these together, the little stem came out of one of those. I don't know why this wouldn't mold it as one piece, but man, that's interesting. Yeah, why would they not just mold that as one piece? Because, you know, once if these little stems come off or get broken, then they're really no good. Well, that didn't go in there. So it appears as though this little blast effect doesn't want to accept any of its counterparts. Yeah, nope. Yeah, this one doesn't want to accept any of them. Yeah, that's disappointing. That's kind of maybe a shotgun blast, but that's kind of useless then. Well, we'll see what else we got here. Yeah, so you can see for the most part they accept their blast effects. I mean, that's one hell of a muzzle flash. Like, whoa. I could see on our SBR short barrel equivalent that would maybe have more of a blast, but I do like these. You know, it looks like you get the muzzle rise as the weapon fires on maybe a full auto. Not too bad. There's a lot of cool detail in these. That's still pretty neat. Of note, the pistols do not accept blast effects, but by virtue of this perhaps being a high point, it probably wouldn't fire anyway. Well, this is cool. On the suppressor, you could add a little heat coming off. That's pretty neat. We'll go ahead and swap that out. We'll suppress our Grenadier version. That's actually pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I like how that looks. That's neat. All right, so all geared up and ready for action. I like the blast effects. That really, I think, especially on the jetpack, it really adds to it. Man, I really wish they would make stands for these guys. Like Valaverse, the Action Force line, they do it. The Fortnite line has some, but for whatever reason, Hasbro doesn't even make an aftermarket one, like an option. So I don't know. They were just like trying to save money or skimping out, but I really feel like they kind of missed the mark on that. With like, you could have stands with their names on it, which figure it is. Let's see how well balanced these guys are with the jetpacks. Come on, stand up, buddy. I feel like they'd probably burn their feet off, so you have to be really careful. Don't bend your knees when you're flying in a jetpack, because you're gonna scorch your footsies. All right, yeah, these guys look pretty cool. Now, overall, aside from the atrocious pistols and like magazines and shotgun reloads in different places, because that's, even though they don't come with shotguns, why would he have what appears to be 12 gauge shells? That's not a 40 mic round. I've got that interesting thigh rig, but I think this is a win. I think that these figures are pretty cool. Definitely dig it. Overall, the color scheme's cool. It does harken back to the original, which I think a lot of people who buy this line are interested in, sort of revitalizing the toys they played with back in the 80s or early 90s. But yeah, these figures are really neat. They're very dynamic. It's cool. You got a female, you got a male. You got blast effects. You've got a surplus of weapons, as opposed to the first line of the classified series that came out, the Snake Eyes movie figures, which they came with like one gun. But it is definitely neat that these guys must be from Texas, because there's more guns than there are people, or Yemen. But I really like these figures. I think it's a definite win. With a great mustache comes great responsibility.